going, to remind everyone as part of the community crossing grant requirements, the ADA Title VI grievance forms as well as a voluntary public involvement survey are available in the hanging wall files for anyone interested. Next, the approval of minutes. I'll make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Brzezinski to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Albert, Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0. Next, the approval of claims.
Make a motion we approve the claims.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Brzezinski, seconded by Mr. Burnett to approve the claims. Any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0. Utilities, MCO report.
We should have a copy of our report. Several bullet items, small tower demolition. We contacted Eisler. They submitted a new proposal. And then also they submitted some things that are going to need to be done, which is going to be a lot of work. In the process of contacting NIPSCO and see what has to be done. They really want all the lights to be energized, so I'm not sure what that's going to cost through NIPSCO or whatever, but we'll find out. The roundabout project at 5 and 6, we were hoping to have Reith Riley give us a quote to move a section of the water main. Basically, that did not happen, and I don't believe they have any intention of getting us a quote for this. So we're probably going to have to look at it after the project's done. We really need to probably get that water main moved out of the way because it goes all the way under Main Street and under that big radius. And it's also under a big storm sewer, so it's something that we really need to consider moving. We did have a little bit of issue with Reith Riley messing with our water main a little bit. I think we've got that all taken care of. Met with Lochner and Reith Riley, and we seem to be in agreement on let's see for now with that. The one section has been installed, disinfected, tested, put online. One of the items I brought up several meetings ago about some of the ductile iron water main, the condition and some of that. The section that was actually going over the culvert that went across where the old viaduct was. I got to see that because they removed it from the ground, and it's pitted, extremely pitted. It's going to be hit or miss, I think, throughout that whole section down there on the condition of that water main. So I know that there was about 3 sections that were really in poor condition, and that water main is only about 20 years old. So that's something that we're going to have to probably budget for to do some replacement in that anything that they put in that was ductile iron on this project, they wrapped it in polyethylene. But most of the pipe is high density polyethylene pipe, so shouldn't have a problem with that. The Nash Fish lift station, we're trying to get a flow meter installed. We've been trying to do this for about 2 years. So far contractors don't want to. We've contacted 3. Nobody wants to give us a price on it. So we're talking to Bowen to see if they'll install it. Before it wasn't as big an issue, but since Nash Fish out there is in full operation, they're using a lot more water. So we need to have an accurate meter out there. Right now we're using the pump times, and we're actually calculating what the flow is now. So. The other bullet point, I think I reported on this last meeting as far as Fieldstone and the mapping was extremely inaccurate. We can't find a lot of the manholes out there. Corey was out there, I think dug one up by hand. It was about 18 or 20 inches deep. It's going to be tough getting that getting those all raised because there's probably some fences on top of some of them. So I'm gonna contact AccuDig and see if they're willing to come out. We're having a hard time just finding them. They were left so deep in the ground. So we may need to get AccuDig to run a sound up it when we'll just have them televise it. They have a sound on their camera so they can actually pinpoint exactly where it's at. You would think as big as the manhole is, they'd be relatively easy to find. They're really not. I'm not sure why. The other problem we're running into is most of the mains were installed in the rear yards, so all the fences have been put right on top of right where the main is. Construction drawings that I saw, the main was supposed to be in the street. It was not installed that way. They put a utility easement in the back, so there's just not a lot of documentation on that installation there. So really want to get that done before winter. So if we have a problem out there with the sanitary, we can address it. The wastewater treatment plant moving quickly. They're getting ready to pour half of the floor of the new oxidation ditch. They're going to be solids handling building is 90% complete. The lift station and screening building at the correctional center, I would say is 90% complete. They'll be starting the new headworks probably in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be tricky for us because we will lose a lot of our storage capacity when that's being constructed. We did get about a $60,000 bypass pump as part of the project. We're going to hook that up so it will automatic. And we have a separate line run to the oxidation ditch, so we will use that as a backup. It'll be automatic, so it will operate. Should we lose both lift station pumps at the lift station. But we're moving ahead on the project, so that's all I've got.
Did they, the other day, I think they were testing the force main hydro?
Yes.
How'd that?
It passed.
It passed.
Surprisingly faster than I thought it would. Usually when you got that long of a run, high density polyethylene, it usually takes a lot more to get it. But it helped. And they tested it at 100 psi, so I don't ever see that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's good news. We might want to check with Eisler because they want us to shut down West Main for 1 day. And we can't until the roundabout's done. Because that's a state designated detour. So we'll have to check with them. I just read that, so we'll have to put that on hold right now. Today also, we met with Baker Tilly about the proposed expansion to Westville Correctional Facility with rate study and everything. So there's a few things that they're going to tweak on it, and they'll be getting back to us hopefully early next week before we submit it to DOC for their review if they're going to hook up. So I'll know more hopefully by the September meeting. Anything else on utilities? Streets.
On a community crossing grant, make a long story short, we submitted our proposals for the streets we wanted done this year, and it came back way high, oil prices and everything else. So, the state suggested that we rescind the bid that we have, and which we did already, and we'll submit a new one, and it will go through until next spring, because we want it. After it goes to the state and they release it and say it's okay, then it has to come back and we have to have bids go out to be bid on, and then we'll go from there. It'll probably be next spring, even though we're starting the process now over again. And that's all I got right now.
We have ordinance 2022-5, the salary ordinance amendment. We discussed, I believe it was last month, changing the hourly rate for the part-time or for the laborer. And I'll read it by title. Ordinance 2022-5, an ordinance of the Town Council of Westville, Fort County, Indiana, amending ordinance number 2021-14 entitled Salary Ordinance for the year 2022. The only difference is Section 1, page 3 of the ordinance. It's revised to state as follows, which the annual of the street superintendent is $57,708.04, which is the same. Labor mechanic is $41,096.64 annual. That stays the same. And the labor part-time or full-time is $31,200. That's the difference. Everything else is the same. So I will make a motion that we approve ordinance 2022-5 on the first reading.
Okay.
Motion made by Albert, second by Mr. Burnett to approve ordinance 2022-5 on the first reading. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes. Passes 3-0. Make a motion that we suspend the rules and adopt ordinance 2022-5.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Bashinsky to adopt ordinance 2022-5. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0. We'll have something to sign afterwards. Parks, we don't really have anything, I don't think. Police Department, good evening.
Yes, so July we had 464 calls. We did submit the grant proposal for the wellness program that I have talked about at, I think, the last meeting or the last two meetings. So we're sounding pretty good for that. About 2 weeks ago, there was it 2-3 weeks ago that you'll probably notice that we had some phone lines that weren't working real well in and around town. I talked to Lori about it a little bit, just briefed her about it. I had a meeting countywide with AT&T apparently at one of their stations over towards Ogden Dunes or something. A fiber got cut, so it disrupted our radios. Our phone lines were down here for a day or two. We're supposed to have a meeting tomorrow to find out more information on it. Essentially, it sounds like our county as a whole just needs to beef up their fiber and their towers because it's when it gets cut there, it messes with all of our stuff. So obviously that's a huge issue for when our radios were cutting in and out and guys weren't getting out. It sounded like the southwestern, so us, southwestern section of the county and the northeast section of the county were experiencing a lot of blackout areas. So hopefully that'll get remedied at the county level. This morning I took over the Durango, one of the Durangos, to start getting outfitted. So we are moving forward finally with that. And then I'm starting to get some modems swapped in on the cars as well to update what we have. Earlier today I was contacted by Sergeant Lear of the Fort County Sheriff's Office. They received a grant for CIT training and they're going to extend some of that stuff. I don't know all the ins and outs yet. I'll know more on Friday about what that will look like. But essentially, it sounds like the Sheriff's Department wants to help out all the agencies in the county to get this critical incident training done for all agencies. So it's helping out. It's furthering this wellness program for when we have a big incident. It's cross collaboration. Last thing, I want to read you guys an email I received earlier last week in regards to Deputy Barton's interaction with a citizen, Mr. Mark Wright of 809 Carla Inn. I'm writing this letter to let you know just a little bit about my wife. Her and I met September 15th, 1982. We got married September 15th, 1990. Several years later, we found out she had multiple sclerosis. Fortunately, it wasn't progressive and she could live a long life even with the disease. Unfortunately, due to her lungs, she slowly, over the years, started having issues. The last 8 years of her life were incredibly hard. I don't want to make this letter about my wife and her death. I want to compliment the interaction that I had with Officer Dylan Barton 1 week ago. I'd fallen on hard times since my wife's death, but this night I couldn't seem to get up. Along came Officer Dylan Barton, and he showed me so much compassion, understanding, along with a huge amount of respect for the pain in which I was going through. It's been a week since he made a life-changing decision for me, which set me on a new course in life. He took what seemed to be a ton of weight off my shoulders. It's not about what he could have done that night. There's no doubt that I could have ended up in a dark, deep, dark place. What it is about, it is his understanding and, again, compassion for what I was going through. His decision to help me has changed everything in my life. He cared enough even to come by the next day and check on me to see how I was doing, which was absolutely amazing. I made a promise to my wife and Officer Dylan Barton that I would never drink again no matter what, including trying to escape from my wife's death. I can't thank him enough, along with the Westville Police Department, for being so understanding. Since then, I feel like a new person. I am so grateful for Officer Dylan Barton entered my life that night. Again, thank you and the entire department as for being so understanding and extremely compassionate. Thank you, Mark Wright. I did issue a letter of commendation and a emeritus award to Dylan. This is obviously going to go in his file. I've ordered the emeritus award that he didn't display on his Class A uniform. So I was very proud of him and wanted to recognize his interaction there.
Very cool. See Dylan, we'll let him know that.
Yeah, yep. I sat down with him and we talked about the situation, and could have gone a lot of different ways, but his interaction was great, and it was nice to hear that feedback from the community. But that's all I got.
It's nice to hear that, not a lot of the crap.
Yep, it made my day. And Phil's interaction with me after that, he went above and beyond. It wasn't at my direction. He said, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to this guy the very next shift that he worked. It was the following night, so I can't say I'm a proud dad or anything like that, because Dylan's older than I am, but no. But I was it was really neat to see that he took that extra initiative when sometimes maybe someone wouldn't do that, so.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good. Nice.
We can't say that anymore, that they're older than us, Jim. It's a lot tougher to find those people.
I haven't been looking for them.
Finance, we have Resolution 2022-4. It's a transfer of funds. Be it resolved by the Westville Town Council, the following funds be transferred. Transfer $500 from appropriation 110120040 new equipment, general fund police, to appropriation 1101200 fuel, general fund police, and transfer $5,000 from appropriation 1101200 health insurance, general fund police, to appropriation 1101200 fuel, general fund police. I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2022-4.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, second by Mr. Bushinsky to adopt Resolution 2022-4. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0. And then we have Resolution 2022-5. It's establishing a lit public safety fund, which we're required to do, although the State Board of Accounts hasn't issued a account number yet. This is Resolution 2022-5. Resolution to establish a lit public safety fund. Be it resolved by the Town Council of Westville, Indiana, that a need now exists for the establishment of a lit public safety fund pursuant to Indiana Code 6-3.6-6-8. The source of the funding for the newly established fund may include lit public safety distributions. The fund shall be used for all purposes as stated as Indiana Code 6-3.6-2-14 and shall be subject to the same appropriation process as other funds. I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2022-5.
Okay.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Burnett to adopt Resolution 2022-5. Any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0.
Mike, I got a question.
Sure.
Your salary ordinance is 2022-5. Is this also 2022-5?
One is one is a resolution, and the other one's an ordinance.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Also, under finance, the budget workshop is August 18th at 6 PM, which is a week from Thursday, right? Okay, miscellaneous fire department activity report. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. 43 calls in July, 17 town limits, 15 in Durham Township, 9 in Jackson with 2 mutual aid. We do want to ask, our host testing got canceled again by the company. This is the 4th time overall that it's been canceled now, citing the lack of help and clerical issues. Apparently the guy who's running the company up and left, and the secretary of him actually took over the company now. So it's kind of an odd transition. With that being said, we've lost the school now that school starts tomorrow. So we're going to ask the town board if we can have an open commitment to use the park.
Sure.
Just whenever it is, whenever they can get us in, that way if there's not a town board meeting, we'll have time to.
Yep, no problem.
We'll just use the 421 side, that entrance.
Yeah,
That way it can still be accessed off of Highway 6, that's no big deal. And we're trying to find ways to streamline it even a little bit, where,
if it helps, we can block off the entrance off 6 if you guys are gonna be out there on the road and around there. Yeah. If you change your mind, or if you decide, just block it off if you're out there.
They set the trailer up in front of the concession stand, and they'll run the runs out towards 421.
Okay. I was just thinking, because through traffic is coming down there with
yeah,
the,
we may have to
People are
close it
cutting,
down
yeah.
with that going on.
people are cutting it, so if you wanna block it off, or let Bubba know when he can go out there or something up there, but it's probably gonna be pretty last minute when they
Yeah.
come out, but,
Well,
Whatever.
I'm hoping that we get at least a week's notice.
Okay.
If that's the case, I'll let you guys know.
yeah, whatever you need to do to, make that safe out there, block it off, that's fine.
As you guys all have a can in front of you there, we got donated an obscene amount of water, 90 cases of water from the National Volunteer Fire Council as well as Anheuser-Busch. That was something we just did an online application for. We ended up getting awarded it and just got it delivered yesterday. So if anybody saw the beer truck backed up to the firehouse, that is what they would do.
I saw it before Dave was there, I came home from lunch and it was setting up by the highway. Wow, these guys really got some ideas for fundraisers.
As you said, got any other supporters laying around?
I think they got rid of them.
Yeah. We do appreciate that. We brought some down for the guys, some there. I mean, if you guys want more, let us know. We have an abundance of it right now, so. Truck update, we are in the paint booth right now. Paint booth and the pump module is getting worked on. So it looks like now that they finally got to it, they're kicking butt on it, getting it done, hopefully. I'm really hoping into September. I'd really like to get it before the cold weather so we can actually turn on it and not have to carry ice around or salt around with us, so. Last one, I'm sure everybody knows when we had the fire at Paul's Auto Yard. I see Nathan's already got that look on his face. Water pressure was a huge factor with that. I don't know, I know the guys at Paul said that hydrant had just been replaced not too long ago. We were only pulling about 8 to 10 static pounds of pressure out of that hydrant. I know it's a small main. I don't know what we can do because that's a huge hazard out there. You know, between the chemicals that are there that are combustible plus all the materials. The pile that burnt was the dump pile where you just pull up to it, throw your stuff on top of it. So we ranged from tires to car upholsteries, tractor parts. I mean, there was a lot in there. And by the pictures, yeah, propane tanks, things were popping, all kinds of stuff going on. So I don't know what we can do for water down there. I don't know if there's anything that you guys can even begin to look at. I mean, obviously a bigger main, but I know that takes time and money and all that stuff too, so.
Is that a new hydrant down there?
I have no idea. That's all before I was ever involved in anything. I
See,
think,
they made
I
it
think
sound
it's-
like it had been changed, the hydrant itself had been changed. without us.
I believe, I'm pretty sure that's a 4-inch main, it ends at water. And it comes off of Main Street.
So go down,
And you're
on
just
the-
not gonna get, you're just not gonna get a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's just not. I mean, we can do a full, we can go and do a full test, but I'll guarantee you there's, everywhere everywhere I've seen you get anything more than 8 inch, if it's a long run, it's not get much.
We ended up using tankers,
Yeah.
put in the dump tank. We were filling in Bubba's house over there, and we had good water pressure there.
On the 8 inch,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
yeah, once we started doing that, we were fine, but trying to do, we tried a couple different options, we couldn't get enough water.
Well, that's probably put in the.
I mean, it's not gonna be anytime soon, but I mean, I think we could look at it when, if we do, and if we look at replacing water mains, if we look at that project over here.
Just something to keep in mind, and I don't even know and I don't know if it's feasible, or if Paul would be willing to chuck a little bit of dough at it too, I don't know. But it's something for us to think about.
The problem is that even at everything to the east, I mean, it's just all small mills, it's just all, those are all cast.
I know I called you that morning, I'm like, please tell me to turn the pumps on, would help, like something.
It's just long. Well, I'll take a look at that. Let's see what it's on.
Yeah, just give me a call, let me know what.
I'll talk to McMahon too and see what I know what the answer's gonna be.
Yeah.
But we'll look.
It's probably 50 yards south of the main building there.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it's at. Yeah.
That might be, and I don't know if we could even do anything there, is there a way we can put some kind of marker? I mean, I don't care if we buy a marker and throw in there either, but
I mean,
we stumbled
can.
across that from that one.
Oh, I know, and it's not a good situation.
No.
Because I'm sure the thing gets open.
Oh, I'm quite sure, yeah.
That we don't know about.
Yeah, like there was a,
I think I was in there one time, and there's a hydrant wrench on top of it, so, I mean, it's just not a good situation, I don't know how to make it better. Well, like I said, I'll look and see.
that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, guys. Amended employee handbook.
We're just literally adding a sentence under work hours for the police department that can either be 8 or 12 hours.
Okay,
That's basically what the sentence says.
okay,
Well, I know what's Cool Springs with it.
okay, that's what it,
21, section 3.1.
okay. I'll make a motion that we make that amendment. Second. I'm sorry, you guys not off here or what? I thought I was sitting here by myself for a minute. Jeez, oh, Pete. Sorry, guys. Motion made by Albert, seconded by, I believe, Burnett, to approve the amendment to the salary of the employee handbook. Is there any discussion? You sure? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Shinsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 3-0. Anything under miscellaneous? Anything under citizens' comments? Anything else to properly come before the council? In that case, being none, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Albert. That one you guys pick up right away. Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Brzezinski to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Meeting adjourns at 7:30.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Good seeing you all.